Good morning and welcome to another video cast from Hendy Consulting, the specialist management consulting firm to the $125 billion FPD display industry. And today I want to do something very simple because nearly every client I meet when we get into a discussion of dealing with Samsung confuses the two organizations. Samsung Electronics, the parent company that also has a very large TV business called VD, as well as being in the mobile phone space, and then Samsung Display Corp, which is a subsidiary which makes displays, including displays for both the parent company and Apple. And the two companies are distinctly different and have very different incentives and market interests. And so, every time a CEO says, I met with Samsung, my first question is, which one was it, SEC or SDC? So let's talk a little bit just to get this clear and so that everybody understands. So Samsung Electronics is the parent company, diversified, but includes a TV business which has got very strong market share called VD, Visual Devices, and Samsung Display Corp, which is their display business, the number 2 revenue-wise in the total display industry, very strong company, deals with Apple and with the parent company, but these two are distinctly different. And so as I'm trying to outline, SEC is a major TV seller. So it would deal with major retailers shifting televisions all around the world and has a very large market share. For a period of time, about 18 months to 2.5 years ago, it was losing market share a little bit on the strength of the LG white OLED product from the LG group. And my sense of it is that the Samsung Electronics, the parent, were disappointed to the degree to which SDC was taking time bringing together the QD-OLED technology. Now, QD-OLED is quite a sophisticated display technology. I love it. Its color is amazing. But yes, it did take quite a long time to industrialize. And so the sense I got is that they were frustrated with that and needed a very high-end premium TV technology. So actually started work themselves at making micro-LED televisions. And that's sort of unusual, right? This is basically an assembly and brand retail focused company that deals with retailers, talks about channel margins, shifts product, designs product and has product portfolios, but doesn't actually make displays. So this for me was a major technological step up, was SEC getting involved, and I hear it was in Vietnam, of assembly of micro LED displays. Now that's really at conflict with the core competence of SDC, and I'm sure that there was political conflict between the two regarding that. Also worth saying that Samsung Electronics used to indeed source an awful lot of their TV panels internally, but as SDC exited LCD, then of course they have now merchant relationships with Taiwan Inc., BOE also being very, very important. And it seems to me also worth saying that there is a corporate relationship from the different parts of Samsung with China Star in particular. SDC co-held a fab with them in China, but then there seems to have been multiple other equity level deals between the Samsung companies and China Star as SDC unwound its position in LCD. SDC then is a major and very strong innovator as a display company, has pretty much made the transition completely now to OLED, but is also working on micro LED. And my sense of that is that their focus is, of course, would likely be being able to be a second supplier for parts of the value chain to help serve one of their biggest customers, which would be Apple. Now, it's not been in the public domain that SDC is anyway involved in this yet. In fact, the large S seems to be either a micro IC structure based on micro ICs out of TSMC, or it's a polysilicon backplane using LGD, but you bet SDC will want involved into that business. And then if we talk about where SDC is going, then I think we've shown some of these slides, but we'll show them again. Their real interest looking forward is growing the domain space of OLED with large gen fine metal mask 8 Gen plus factories. So that does actually give some sort of intergroup conflict. And one Korean friend to me who worked in a multinational always said to me, business with brothers worse than others. And I think that always encapsulates, I think anybody who's worked in a large multinational, I certainly did at Philips in the early part of my career. And there was certainly quite some tensions then between our group, which made displays and had the 50% ownership of LG Philips LCD as it was, and then the monitor and TV assembly business based in Taiwan. And to some degree we had to keep persuading them that it was in the value of the Philips shareholder for them to support panel supply out of Korea instead of sourcing more locally in Taiwan, which of course was language-wise and logistically sort of simpler for them. So anyway, I have this feeling that there are the same tensions and questions, particularly around micro LED between Samsung Electronics and SDC. But let's reiterate. So Samsung Electronics is the TV seller. They are maintaining a portfolio of product. It's very interesting that the QD OLED product developed by their own display business, they're actually calling OLED, and that might have been because they know that there's potential for them to be using multiple variants of OLED in the marketplace. And indeed, this rumoured discussion of a deal with the LG group for white OLED seems to be back on the table again. So maybe they wanted to have a broader pantheon using the strong name OLED only to allow multiple variants. But then also SEC is working on a range of micro LED TVs, and at the moment they're at pretty high price points. But the whole notion that they're actually showing down to 50-inch seems to suggest to me that that's where they want to go, and commensurately prices and costs will have to fall. So then SDC, to reiterate, is the display company itself, and they are the dominant player in Flex OLED, serving their parent company in Apple. Their future direction, as outlined by this wonderful talk from IMID by JS Chair, is talking about mid to large size OLED expansion using Gen 8 Plus facilities that they're going to invest into, covering IT products, but also the automotive space. So this is great news for all the automotive players. But they're also really interested in now in getting into headset and micro display stuff. And as JS Chair put it, one of the really interesting things here was that the Samsung group corporately also knows an awful lot about semiconductors. So it's actually very well positioned to be able to take on this clash of cultures, business intents, heuristics of the semiconductor and the display industry coming together when it comes around micro displays. And actually it's something I will do a separate talk on another time, because I find that whole culture clash absolutely fascinating. So finally, I just wanted to reiterate, if you are ever my client and you tell me I met with Samsung, don't be surprised if the first question that comes back, SEC or SDC? The two firms are very distinctly different, with different market intents, different incentives, and different things they want to achieve. So make sure you know, turn the business card over, make sure you know who you're dealing with, and then you'll be much more likely to be successful with them. Thanks very much, and have a good rest of the day.